tell them why.
You tell him, you tell him.
You must be out of your mind. I don't work for anyone.
Okay, yeah, you're right.
I know.
I'll tell him.
Damn right.
Guys. We are super jacked up. No, there's no pay-per-view this weekend, okay? But the UFC has its first ever UFC on ESPN. That's right, UFC on ESPN 1 is taking place at the best named resort ever, the Talking Stick Resort Arena in Phoenix, Arizona. Kind of like a grand opening. It's like a restaurant that's been open for a little while, but they haven't had their grand opening, so they're not really officially open to—
I'm lost.
Shut up. Let's just get right into it. Yes, I got gloves. Damn hair. It doesn't mean that Hector's found a sweet spot.
I'm a sweetie.
Debatable. The fact of the matter is we have a double upload today because there's 2 huge cards. So if you just hit the link above, you'll be able to watch the other card right after or before this, whatever the hell you want, because they're both going to be uploaded. First off, we have a strawweight female clash between Cynthia Calvillo and Courtney Casey. Calvillo has been super successful in career, only losing to previous strawweight champion, actually the first strawweight champion in UFC history in the female division, in Carla Esparza. Cynthia's last win is coming against Juliana Botello via rear naked choke. Now, Cynthia has proven throughout her whole yet young career that she can go the distance, that she has extreme knockout power, and she's very versatile on the ground, on top, or on her back. Now, Courtney Casey has had a lot of experience, quite a bit more than Cynthia Calvillo, but she hasn't been quite as successful, putting up a record of 8-6. The fun fact between these fighters as well is Cynthia Calvillo has beat 2 fighters that Courtney Casey has lost to, one being Joanne Calderwood and the other one being Pearl Gonzalez. Now, Courtney has also proven herself to be a well-rounded mixed martial artist, but the one thing that we can see, all right, besides her last win against Angela Hill and a win previous fights ago against Jessica Aguilar, that she struggles when it comes to decision. Even when it comes to her decision victories, they're normally split decisions. Her gas tank is not there like Cynthia's is. She's not a badass like Cynthia is, in my opinion. I really think she's out of her element here. I think this is the perfect fight to really shoot Cynthia up the rankings by beating somebody with far more experience, but yet could never beat anybody with a solid name on her resume. Having said that as well, when we look at Cynthia, yes, she is a great fighter, but she hasn't really beaten any of the who's who of that division. So no matter who wins here, both of them still have a lot of work ahead of them to still get into that top 10 rankings and still fight anybody that really your average MMA fan is going to be used to hearing. So if I'm gonna have to lay this down, I do think Calvillo is gonna prove to be far too much for Courtney Casey. Really go out there aggressive in the first round, she always does. Courtney Casey is not gonna be able to handle the pressure of Cynthia Calvillo, and Cynthia's gonna take her out, I think, late first round or early second round via submission. Probably rock her with a nice uppercut, take her to the ground, and get her back and choke her out. Now, we go up to the welterweight division. We have an amazing kickboxing clash. Yes, it's MMA, but I'm pretty sure this is going to be a kickboxing war. We have James Vick going against actually UFC commentator and personality and Paul Felder. Now, Paul Felder is coming off an amazing fight. Although he lost, it was an amazing war against Mike Platinum Perry. Well, we also look at James Vick. He is also coming off an amazing war, but it was a KO loss against Justin Gaethje. So they're both striving, both hungry to get back into that win column. When we look at James Vick's record, he does seem to be the more well-rounded of mixed martial arts. You never really fully understand what his game plan is going to be. He's going in there, he's going to try to strike you, but he is so easy to quickly turn it around, take you to the ground, try to get your back and choke you the hell out. Where Paul Felder, because he is so crafty on his feet, he's gonna want to keep it standing up the whole time and turn this into a kickboxing bout. But bad news, Paul Felder, this is MMA. James Vick is not gonna give you the fight that you want, so you're gonna have to try to take it from him, keep that distance from that long-ass son of a bitch, and keep this standing. But are you successfully gonna be able to do that? We're soon gonna find out. I do think in this fight, however, that the more active fighter, James Vick, is probably going to be the victorious one, because he knows a win for him is really going to break him into that top 10 rankings and really get him some big-ass named opponents that will get him ready for eventually, hopefully, getting that title shot, which I don't think is going to happen. Good joke, right?
Nobody's laughing.
Thanks. I just think Paul Felder, as much as I love him, he is too one-dimensional for this fight. James Vick has numerous crafty submission victories, and he also has significant TKO victories as well. He's far more well-rounded in my opinion, and I think if Paul Felder can't land those early shots, maybe take it to the body, take it to the leg, take his base from under him, I think Paul Felder is going to be in for a real rough night. I can definitely see this going into the later rounds, either the end of second or early third. I think we're going to see Paul Felder get frustrated. I think this is James Vick's fight. I think James Vick is just far too long and far too versatile as an MMA fighter for Paul Felder to handle. Mark my words, I do hope I'm wrong in this fight because I am a huge Paul Felder fan, and boy do I hate James Vick. He looks like Long Neck from Land Before Time. I do think it's going to be James Vick at the end of second round or beginning of the third round, maybe rock Paul Felder, take it to the ground, wear some ground and pound, and inevitably getting that submission victory, much like the prediction in the earlier women's fight. Now, when we go to the main event, this is the fight, in my opinion, which I wouldn't give two flying shit who else was on the card. I would still buy this if it was a pay-per-view just to watch this heavyweight finally come back, grace the octagon canvas with his presence, and that's Cain Velasquez. Cain Velasquez is going up against African one-punch assassin. That's not his fight name, but it should be because he's a killer. And Francis Ngannou. Now, Cain Velasquez hasn't fought in years. Actually, the last time he fought, he knocked the hell out of Travis Brown in UFC 200. And before that, he also had a hiatus for a couple of years before losing his strap to Fabricio Verdum via submission. This proves, in my opinion, that Cain Velasquez is not going to show any signs of ring rust whatsoever. But the thing that I am worried about the most is he going to come in with a strategic game plan, or is he going to be so hungry to get back into the octagon that he's going to come and turn this into a striking war, which in my opinion is a very critical error, especially against someone like Francis Ngannou, who is extremely one-dimensional, but that one dimension that he has is better than all the rest, and that is his knockout power. When one of his hands connects with you, you are going right to sleep. So what I think that Cain Velasquez should do, because I don't want this to be another curse like it was on UFC on Fox 1 when he fought Junior Santos and got knocked out right away, I want Cain Velasquez to keep his composure, and I think to get that title shot, I think he is going to have to keep his composure, keep his distance from Francis Ngannou, and wait for Francis Ngannou to make that critical error of swinging wild, missing, hopefully, and Cain Velasquez grabbing a hold of him, taking to the ground. Because I do know, I am comfortable in saying that if I had any money,
broke bitch,
that I would put it all on Cain Velasquez, that if he got it to the ground, Francis Ngannou is going to be in for a rude awakening and get his entire kicked. And if he does make it to the second round, he's going to make it back as a zombie and not going to be able to do anything. And Cain Velasquez is just going to outbox him, press him against the cage, take him down, and just slaughter his face, much like he did in the rematches with JDS in number 2 and number 3. So, Francis Ngannou, I know you're coming off a fantastic victory against Curtis Blades, but man, your previous outings against Derek Lewis and Stipe Miocic, you look like just a completely different fighter, and you showed the biggest hole in your game, which Cain Velasquez has that power to really expose and take advantage of, and that is your ground game, that's your grappling game, that is your wrestling game, that is your submission game. Cain Velasquez takes this fight, but it's going to be in the later rounds. I think he's going to take this to the third round. I don't think it'll make it to the championship round. I think Cain Velasquez is going to be able to avoid that big bomb, just keep taking him down and slaughtering him. Although Francis Ngannou, he has a terrible gas tank, somehow he has that heart and that will to just keep getting up every single round when that bell goes off to start off again. So I do think Cain Velasquez is going to have his hands full, but he should be in for an easy target practice hell of a fucking night. And that's my prediction. So guys, thank you so much. I hope you enjoy the fights down in Phoenix, Arizona. It's going to be far more fucking warm than it is here in Canada, but at least we got some snow again, which is awkward because every week you watch this, one day we have rain, one day we have complete sunshine outside, and of course we have an ice storm, and now we have snow. Hector, if you don't mind, just please let me survive and don't do anything crazy because you do need me in a couple minutes to shoot the next big card that we have to talk about, so I would just ease the up. Tune in, like I said, because momentarily you are going to be entertained once again by me and my fucking freaky ass friends.
Hey, we're pals.
Yeah, you're kind of on a friend basis now as we talk about the next big card. Like I said, if you would have hit the link at the beginning of this video, you would have found out. But seriously, I'm going to be posting that video at the end of this and just momentarily anyway, so you can see and click on it and watch me do some more fun shit. Not so much fun, more like being tortured and talking about the next big card that's coming up on the exact same day. Cool. Intermission break.
Go on.
Great. Ah! This cold is really tightening up my ass cheeks.
You wish.
I think I pulled a hamstring.
Shut up.
No, seriously. I got like a cramp right.
I said shut up.